Welcome, everybody. My name is Scott Conklin. I'm the Director of Admissions at Episcopal High School, and I'm here with our Science Department Head, Kim Olson, and Math Department Head, Dave Collins. And we're excited to share more about our science and math and technology and engineering classes at Episcopal. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to Dr. Olson and Mr. Collins to introduce themselves and get started.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kim Olson. I am the chair of the science department, as Scott mentioned. This is my 17th year at Episcopal. I have been here as the science department chair and teach primarily 10th through 12th graders in chemistry and live on campus and have worked on Harrison Dorm my entire time here on campus. I've also been the coach for the Science Olympiad team and for the robotics team, and we'll be discussing that a bit later.
Thanks, Dr. O. My name is Dave Collins. I chair the Math and Computer Science Department. We actually brought computer science under our umbrella recently as 2 years ago. This is my 13th year here at Episcopal. I have taught everything from Algebra 2 through regular calculus. I've also teach advanced statistics as well. And then I've also been able to also teach a class in the science department, engineering, both engineering and advanced engineering, which I think we'll talk about a little bit later in this call. I coach varsity girls crew. I have lived on dorm for 10 years and then recently moved into one of the single family homes on campus.
Great. Thanks, Dave and Kim. I know we have a lot of experience in this room right now, both in the classroom, but also everything that goes along with being a teacher at Episcopal. So Dave, do you want to get started by just highlighting some of the, give an overview of the math department?
Absolutely, thanks. So in the math department, we really focus on putting the student at the center of the class. Teachers are there to help facilitate. There are classes that start off with a problem on the board and then students just group up together and tackle that problem. We have courses where we're really trying to develop that problem solving skills. And most teachers will bring in the idea of real world problems to solve those issues. We've had students go out on campus to try to calculate the slope of a ramp to make sure that it matches the code that needs to be. We've had people look with our business department to try to figure out different constraints in, say, the dining hall to try to maximize efficiency within the dining hall as a linear programming problem. We even get off campus as well, and there's a Capital Wheel, which is a large Ferris wheel just across the river in Maryland. But we'll have our students go out there and use sinusoidal studies to try to figure out the wheel and the height as you're going around the wheel. So definitely looking to bring real world into the classroom, but also challenging students, seeing where they are, but also so we're trying to enrich for those students who are really trying to push ahead. And then I would also say one of the big things that we focus on is making sure the student's in the right class. And then we also have office hours that is utilized quite a bit by our students. So they get to come to the teacher one-on-one help at various times throughout the day. So both not only right after class, but in the afternoon, also evening hours as well. In terms of our curriculum, we have the other thing that I think is great about what we've set up is our core courses, which you see in that first bullet, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus, and Calculus. We offer, except for Algebra 1, we offer three levels for all of those courses. So that's what I was saying. We're really trying to spend time getting the student in the right class where they can be the most successful. So both challenging themselves, but also if they need a little extra help and a little extra time to get through a topic, that's also what we're looking to do. And then on top of that, we have several advanced courses. So we offer advanced AB calculus and advanced BC calculus, also advanced statistics. And then I think also a thing for our students at the higher end of the math continuum, we offer 2 classes, both advanced linear algebra and advanced multivariable calculus, that we alternate every year. So essentially, if you could get through BC calculus as a sophomore, which would be a pretty amazing feat, we have 2 courses guaranteed to run beyond BC calculus, which again I think is unique and also serves our students really well.
Great, thanks, Dave. Kim, do you want to talk about the science department?
Absolutely. And I think kind of echoing kind of the topics that Dave was mentioning, it really is so important to us to develop informed global citizens and prepare students coming up from a foundational level to make really informed decisions about the world around them. And so we really want to make sure that the work that we do is applied, and really the center of all of our courses is the laboratory. We think that that's such an integral part of what we do, and really such an important part of how students learn. So we really want to create a general base that's teaching students about the scientific method, and then really allows the students to kind of choose their own adventure, to really find their passion within the sciences and prepare themselves for moving on to advanced work at university level, or on into life in whatever field they might be going into, but be prepared to understand the impact of science in everything they do and in the world around us. If you want to go on to the curriculum on the next page, we have a sequence which we've found really allows us to build from a very hands-on, exciting, dynamic beginning in 9th grade with the physics curriculum. This is a course which really takes advantage of understanding motion and understanding the natural world in kind of a visible way, and then moves on to the nanoscopic, the molecular in 10th grade with chemistry. And then the 11th grade biology curriculum really pulls everything together and again connects with what we've learned about how energy and matter interacts with the world around us in a way that really sets the base for moving on to junior and senior year. Every year, Episcopal has a variety of students coming in at the 10th and 11th grade level as well, and we have a full curriculum that's organized if this is not the sequence that your son or daughter has followed. And so that's never been an issue. We actually have a full complement of intermediate and advanced physics courses for juniors and seniors as well. But really, once the students get this start, it really is an opening of a door to so many different possibilities. We have a wide variety of advanced level courses and electives for 11th and 12th graders, which involve everything from anatomy and physiology to advanced calculus-based engineering, advanced chemistry, biology, and physics, and also a variety of electives that span the natural and life sciences, including environmental science, forensics, and psychology. We also have, both in math and science, the opportunity for the Global Online Academy offerings. And there you will find the ability to maybe expand interests in these elective areas, such as neuropsychology and the health fields.
Great. Thanks, Dr. Olson. And some of our opportunities in technology as well. Dave, were you going to start this one? Or yeah, okay.
Yeah, so thanks. So in terms of technology, and I think we'll broaden that out to sort of say STEM here at this point, I do feel like the 2 departments are every year trying to build more between both the math and the science, and realizing how there is so much overlap between those 2 topics. So just to continue what Dr. Olson was saying about the idea of Global Online Academy, we've got several classes there, both also on the math side. And then also we have several afternoon options, which I think Dr. O will talk about here in a little bit. But the thing that I think we're really looking at is the idea of how to bring technology into the classroom, into the laboratory, whether it's an engineering course. We have several, you can see that picture in the middle. That's a simulation program that's run by West Point, and you can basically build the bridge from scratch. We were trying to minimize costs. Great program. So simulator there. I know the biology classes are using also simulators in terms of their labs that they're doing. And then at the bottom, you can see Leslie there, and she's actually in our fab lab right there. And so we're actually also building hands-on. Now, I will say, with COVID, we've pivoted and we're using even more simulators. So we're able to still practice everything that out there and solve these problems, even if we can't physically get our hands on the materials, if we happen to be virtual for just a short period of time. And then, Mr. Conklin, if you could shift to the next slide there.
Yep.
So just kind of, again, looking at the idea of bringing the courses together. So in math, and in addition to those core courses and the advanced courses, we do have several computer science courses. So we've got essentially a course on Java right now, and then we also have another course in Python. And then we also, within that course of Python, we're focusing on robotics, trying to use robotics to teach the programming, and then also enabling them to do some more 3D modeling, where we're doing more like blueprints and large scale modeling that we're not looking to print. Because, having said that, the next course is down, engineering and advanced engineering. I was fortunate to be sort of on the ground floor of that program starting off, and it's a blast. Our fab lab is huge. We moved across the hall. We tripled in size. We have, I think we're up to 7 3D printers. We have a laser cutter as well. Plus, as we said, a state-of-the-art computer systems or computers that we can run these simulation programs that need a little more extra memory to process all that. There are, as we've mentioned a couple of times, several global online academy courses that we offer. So if you don't see anything there that we're not offering at school, you can always look to that catalog as well. And then I'll point out the last thing before I kick it over to Dr. Olson. We also have the opportunity, and I think Dr. Olson will talk about this as well, the opportunity to do independent studies. So it's not only the offerings we have, but we're also trying to speak to students who come in with a passion already, who may either want to take a topic that we have here and expand on it as an independent study, or come in and use the Fab Lab as a place for them to keep pursuing that passion that they have.
Great.
Yeah, and
Go ahead, Kim. Yeah.
Thanks. I do want to take a minute to sing the praises of Mr. Collins. I think he downplayed a bit his expertise as a practitioner or as an engineer who is, definitely someone who's been trained in this field. He has absolutely brought to that class a sequence for engineering, an area of expertise where those students are really doing some real life experiments that are things that we have looked at applying in our own space here, working with our CFO to try and implement ways to make sure that things are as optimized as possible in the workings of our own school. So these kids are really having the opportunity to be involved in a way that is really making big changes on our campus. I did want to mention for Science Olympiad and for robotics, we have 2 afternoon options. This is a chance for, once again, students to get into the hands-on work of trying to build new devices and test their knowledge, and then be competing in the Virginia and regional area in a way that's really exciting. It also has them getting involved in a real collaborative and competitive process, which I think is a great way for them to keep stretching their knowledge. So a lot of really exciting opportunities for our students.
Lots of resources. It's amazing what we have to offer. Just a few questions. Can you talk about what it's like to teach at Episcopal and the advantages of being in a boarding school environment and what that might mean for the relationships that you have with the students that you're teaching, your ability to access them at different times of the day, to provide either enrichment opportunities or to kind of catch them up on a class that they missed or an area where they may need a little bit more support.
Sure, I'll start there. The Episcopal has given so much to me in the sense as a teacher. It's enabled me to think up anything that I really want to bring, and the ability to pitch an idea to both our assistant head of academics and also our CFO, who has to pay the bills. You come to them and they're just so excited about the idea of bringing something new to the students. So we're constantly thinking of new projects. I know that engineering class, it's never been the same from one year to the next, because we keep thinking up new ideas that we want to pursue, and we just kind of fit it in, maybe take one out for a year and bring it back in. So I'll say from that standpoint, I feel extremely fortunate, because I feel like if I can dream it up, then I'm going to put it in front of the students. We're going to have that opportunity. And then you just mentioned the boarding side of it. I can't tell you the number of times I've gone to my classroom at night. I forget my textbook or something. I'm going there, and you just get stopped in the library, get stopped in the hallway because they're working during study hall, and just being able to help a student who's right in the middle of doing, let's say, a homework problem, and just know that they're set for the next day. That feels great. And so that's just, in addition to all those other times I talked about earlier, just, that happenstance of meeting them is great to know that you can also help them at different times all throughout the day, both on weekends and also evening times as well.
And I can come at this from a different point of view, having a senior who is graduating this year, who is on dorm. My son is actually looking at engineering schools. And so he's had calculus. He's, in Dr. Meeker's advanced physics C course. He's taken advanced computer science and just loved that class, had so much fun with it. And he's taking engineering in the spring. And just the opportunity to know that those faculty members that he has grown to get to know over the years are always there for him. He sits with Dr. Meeker, on weekends, and they're working through a national physics competition problem about building a motor. And has had so many chances during study hall at night, dorm faculty who are on his dorm and he can meet with. There's a sense of tremendous respect, I feel like, within the community of one another, student and faculty alike. And that sense of connectivity and availability is something that I know he has benefited from tremendously. So I can look at it from the parent side, and also just the great relationships I've been able to build with my students. Dorm duty, out, sitting in front of the library on a Friday afternoon, or of course in the classroom.
Awesome. I think we have time for one kind of last question, and that would be, I think you've both kind of touched on it a little bit, but just examples of how the departments use Washington, D.C. as a resource, whether those are Washington program experiences or bringing someone to campus that can really talk about what we're learning in the classroom environment.
I'll start this one off. I think it can't be understated, the amazing opportunity, overstated, the amazing opportunity of being able to be in DC in 17 minutes. And really, it can be something as, planned and accessible as, going into the Smithsonian. I take my advanced chemistry students in to the art conservation labs. And there we have art conservators who work with the galleries for the Natural History Museum, all the way through the Sackler. And they actually are responsible for the chemical and physical preservation of all of the artifacts. And those are scientists, PhD level scientists that are meeting with our students. But it can also be just going into DC and interacting with the space. Dave, I know Mr. Collins can talk about some of the classes in the math department going in to look at some of the sculpture galleries, and I'm sure he'll chat about that for a minute. but it's just this accessibility and this opportunity that either planned or impromptu is just a tremendous resource. And our students are able every single week to go in with their courses, and we'll be able to go in next year, for every single class in the middle of the week, there will be this longer block, which will allow them to go in with their course, with their actual peers in their class, to spend time with all the resources in Washington.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some go-tos. The sculpture garden is a great place to go and just study the various three-dimensional figures that are there. The thought I have is the idea of being able to get off of campus into essentially an international city to speak with experts. Dr. Olson was talking about. So we've had, I'll just say my class in statistics, we've not only been able to go to Gallup and talk to people who are designing polls for presidential elections or Senate elections, but then on top of that, we were able to recently meet with somebody from the U.S. Census, which is so pertinent right now in terms of the timing of it, this being 2020 and the various issues of the questions that were on. And now we were able to talk to this expert about the timing that's going on in terms of COVID and trying to get the census done. So we're able to talk and bring those topics we're talking about in class and bring in experts. This is a senior manager at the U.S. Census who was able to share with our students everything that goes into it, the planning that goes into something like the census. And then last one I'll just say is like the idea of taking students to there's a innovation center for 3M, just to expose them to a company like 3M that just makes everything. They think if anybody knows anything about 3M, they might think they just make Post-its. I mean, it's just a vast amount of products that they make. And again, it just opens the idea of like, I never thought, a company would be involved in all this, or that, that could be a potential job for me to do, as I look to college and beyond.
I will add in here, a lot of these great conversations then lead into our senior externship program, where we have so many contacts. I mean, the network is tremendous of labs, Georgetown University, NIH. We've had students go to NSF before. We've had students go work for data science corporations, analysts, so many different fields, and they're literally within a 20-minute range of our campus. And those opportunities for that kind of capstone program at the end of senior year is really something we're proud of.
Awesome. Well, Dave and Kim, thanks so much for your time and sharing all your experiences. And it's clear to see your passion for working with students, but also just the passion for the subject areas that you're teaching. To the prospective students, parents that are watching, if you do have questions, feel free to reach out to Dave or Kim or me, and I can put you in touch with any of our science, technology, math teachers to get those questions answered. So we look forward to the next steps in the application process, and thanks for joining us today.